Aries. Aries symbol. You could find that people are intimidated or feel threatened by some of the personal changes you are making, dear Aries. You are expressing your more unique qualities, and while this is a growth-oriented and positive thing, it can take others time to adjust to the changes. Provide reassurance if needed, and try to be as understanding as possible. You might decide to avoid sensitive topics temporarily since defensiveness is the probable response right now. However, examine whether you may have excluded someone, even if it was unintentional. Compromises work best now. If people are getting in your way, you can feel frustrated and resentful, but consider that difficulties now may get you in better touch with what's truly bothering you. Sorting through the truths and deeper emotions that surface now can be helpful. The moon heads into your solar second house later today, and you're more inclined to want to make or build something than to innovate or pioneer. Your emotions steady out. Taurus. Taurus symbol. Today can be difficult for confident decision-making, dear Taurus, primarily because you are not feeling incredibly confident. Fortunately, it's temporary. In the meantime, past matters or guilt can nag at you and interfere with the present. You might also have a hard time rallying up support. It's best to choose your battles wisely. However, you can certainly learn from what buttons people are pressing. Direct action may not be appropriate or advantageous now, and a subtle approach could be more strategic. Wait for a better time to make an important presentation or win favor. As the day progresses, you're likely to be feeling more energized and positive. The moon enters your sign, and emotions need clear channels for expression. You're especially inclined to reach out to others for acknowledgement and reinforcement. Gemini. Gemini symbol. Early today, issues about power sharing, money, or intimacy can be tricky, dear Gemini. Resentments can surface or can involve frustrations about the sharing of money, property, or resources. You may be feeling shortchanged. Insecurities temporarily tend to be a driving force, and decisions made under these conditions rarely work out for good. It can be difficult to trust or put your complete faith in someone, and you may be looking for reassurance. You are likely to gain a better perspective as the day advances, and it's easier to be objective. Aim to conserve your energy. You'll do well to take a pause from your busy schedule and allow yourself to enjoy the moment. Or, if you need it, this can be a time to cocoon, rest, and reflect. Cancer. Cancer symbol. Early today, frustrations can bubble up from within quite unexpectedly, dear Cancer. Aim to examine what comes up now, as it's emotional slush that needs handling, and it would be a good idea to deal with it as maturely possible. People in your life may want more from you than you can provide. Affection can't be bought, manipulated, or forced. There can be a feeling of being off or out of step with the people you love, or a sense that something isn't entirely right. Strategy based on patience and compassion is best now, although a bit challenging to muster up. As the day advances, you crave more recreation. In fact, there is friendly energy taking over today that helps ease some of the pressure you've been feeling. Leo. There can be some dissatisfaction with routines early today, dear Leo. Without a clear plan for escape or some form of adventure, you may spin your wheels. Frustrations working under the surface can now emerge in unexpected and indirect ways. Decisions are not easy to come by, but it's best to try to take things in stride or at least wait until a clearer time to make them. As the day advances, priorities are easier to identify. You are a little more ambitious than usual. Even though you're more likely to need to work for your rewards today, it can be pretty satisfying doing so. Virgo. You might experience some tension in the first half of the day as insecurities can surface, dear Virgo, and you may be uncertain how to express yourself or define a relationship. People may wonder why you're acting out of character. Watch for getting caught up in petty dramas. Transits now may seem to compromise credibility temporarily. Money matters and questions of ownership or the sharing of power are tricky. However, tensions felt now can motivate you to make changes, which is good news. You're also bound to learn more about your fears and insecurities. It's easier to unwind and enjoy light interactions later today. Your need for some adventure or a change of pace, however big or small, builds. Libra. In the first half of the day, awkward energy is with you for asserting yourself and problem solving, dear Libra. You might find it difficult to put faith in a loved one. Watch for hypersensitivity and a tendency to put yourself on the defensive. There can be a significant shift in a relationship, but you are not at your decision-making best today, so don't jump ship or jump into something too quickly now. If worries surface about debts, make it your goal to gain a stronger sense of what you can earn or look into better spending and saving habits. Highs and lows today may very well lead to a meaningful learning experience. The moon heads into your solar 8th house later today, and your need to observe and reflect is stronger than usual. Scorpio. You could feel some doubt about someone who's not inspiring your confidence, dear Scorpio, and mixed signals abound now. While it might seem that it's all originating from without, consider that some of this energy is about internal conflicts. Sometimes inaction is just as frustrating as negative action. You can experience frustration if you feel you've taken on too much. Imbalances can frustrate you, especially if you've been doing all the supporting. Insecurities seem to emerge now, and it's a learning experience. Sagittarius. Early today, you might be reading too much into others' actions and words, dear Sagittarius. Your insecurities may be driving a tendency to find problems, and it's best to nip this in the bud right away. Emotions are complicated right now, and you could be feeling out of sync with a friend or loved one. It doesn't help that signals people are giving off are a mixed bag. There can be disagreements about money or valuables, or you experience a protective need to defend yourself and your self-respect. It would be most helpful to find a way to enjoy a creative escape from stress. Capricorn. Frustrations can be operating close to the surface today, dear Capricorn. If you're anxious to clear the air with someone, use more care than usual since transits in the first half of the day are touchy. If you aren't entirely sure of yourself, it won't go over very well and might only serve to trigger defensiveness. Issues that you may have thought were history could emerge under moments of duress. Don't let them rule your behavior, but don't ignore them either. Consider that you may be clinging too tightly to a position and that compromise would be the better choice. Aquarius. With a Mars-Chiron transit early today, people seem to take a roundabout approach to pursuing their desires, dear Aquarius. While a direct path doesn't seem possible right now, it's probably better not to probe too deeply just for the time being. Unresolved issues have a way of emerging in a disruptive manner. You might struggle with a decision and have a hard time believing or putting your faith in a person or project temporarily. Ideally, you learn from the experience if something is pushing your buttons. Later today, you seek more comfort, familiarity, and quiet with the moon's move into your solar fourth house. Take this time to tone things down, and enjoy yourself. Pisces. A difference in values can stimulate a whole lot of tension today, dear Pisces. People in your life can have a hard time adjusting to the changes. As well, you and others can be extra sensitive in the first half of the day, and it can be all too easy to trigger vulnerabilities. There can be real resentments stirred if you feel unappreciated. Your faith in others can also be out of step right now. Try not to allow misunderstandings negatively impact your day, but if a tricky matter does surface, it's best not to shy away from it, or you're likely to meet it again in the future, perhaps in a bigger way. The day is likely to get busier as it progresses, and you seem to adapt beautifully to this new energy.